Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the Feel the Beat collection by ORLY for spring 2020. I got this collection from HP Beauty Bar, so in the description box below I will link the HP Beauty Bar site, I will link their Instagram page, I will link the ORLY site and Instagram page, as well as my Instagram where you can see more swatches of everything from this collection. I do also have a 20% off coupon code for you to use at HP Beauty Bar. It'll be here on the screen as well as in the description box below. So there are 6 polishes in this collection, and let's go ahead and get started. So first we have Sweet Thing, and this is a pinky nude cream. So here's our first coat of Sweet Thing. So this one does cover pretty well here on this first coat. It's a little bit patchy, so I am going to go ahead and build this one up. It does have a good formula. It's not too thick. A little bit on the thin side, but it doesn't run or pull if you work in nice thin coats. So here is our second coat, and that builds up really well on 2 coats, but I do have a couple patchy spots, so I am going to go in for a third coat. I was extremely shaky this day, so depending on your application and if you're not as shaky as I am, you could probably get this one opaque in 2. I do feel like after a couple uses, this one will also thicken up a little bit to be completely opaque in 2 coats. But here is that third coat. This one is going to dry down nice and glossy all on its own. I would recommend a top coat just to keep your manicure lasting as long as possible. I also didn't have any kind of staining with this one. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Lilac You Mean It, and this is a super light lavender cream with a strong purple shimmer. Here's our first coat of Lilac You Mean It. So this one is pretty sheer here on this first coat and pretty patchy, so I am going to go ahead and build this one up also. The shimmer that's in here stands out really nicely against such a light base color. I am very impressed with that. Formula's a little bit on the thin side, so you do have to work in thinner coats to make sure you don't have this issue that I'm having right here and put on too thick of a coat to cause some running down the sides of your nails. But again, if you work thinly, that shouldn't be an issue. So this is building up well here in 2 coats. I don't think anybody would ever notice you have a visible nail line in 2 coats. Nobody should be that close to your nails except yourself. But I am showing you what 3 coats looks like today, and that does cover completely. This one is also going to dry glossy all on its own. This is all shimmer that's in here, so this isn't going to dry textured like a glitter, and it won't be difficult to remove. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Lips Like Sugar, and this is a bright purpley pink neon cream. Here's our first coat of Lips Like Sugar. For some reason, I keep wanting to say Lips Like Summer. I keep having to restart when I say this polish's name. This has a good formula. It covers nice and evenly on this first coat, but I am going to build it up with a second coat just to hide any kind of visible nail line. Formula's good. Again, a little bit on the thinner side, but I didn't have any running, pooling, or staining. This is completely opaque in 2 coats. It will dry down to a satin finish. If you don't love that, I would recommend a top coat to finish this one off. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Magic Moment, and this is a very lightly, if at all, tinted purpley color with a bright blue shimmer. Here's our first coat of Magic Moment, and here on 2 nails I'm going to show you what it looks like built up on its own, and then on the other 2 nails I'm going to layer it over Lips Like Sugar. So this one obviously has a very sheer formula. If you wanted just a wash of color on your nails, I would recommend just going in for 1 coat. You can build this one up to pretty much opacity, but it won't get fully opaque. I do recommend using this one primarily as a topper. It does shine off of anything you put it over. This does apply nice and evenly. It does dry glossy on its own, and nothing will be textured. So there's 1 and 3 coats. Up next we have Glow Baby, and this is a coppery metallic. Here's our first coat of Glow Baby. So this covers really, really well here on this first coat. It's not completely opaque, so I am going to go in for a second coat. This one has a really good formula, not too thick or too thin, no running, pooling, or staining. You do have some brush stroking through this super metallic-y formula when it's wet. Most of those go away as it dries, but not all of them, so just be sure to work in as straight as strokes as possible. So this one is completely opaque in 2 coats. It dries decently glossy, but not fully, so I would still recommend that top coat. I also didn't have any kind of staining with this polish. So there is 2 coats. And lastly for today we have In the Groove, and this is somewhere between like a brick red and a chocolate brown cream. And here's our first coat of In the Groove. So this one feels kind of jelly, it feels kind of squishy, but it does apply as opaque as a cream. Very smooth formula, again, not too thick or too thin, no running, pooling, or staining. It covers really well here in this first coat. I am going to go ahead and build up 2 coats for full opacity. So there's our second coat. This one is going to dry super glossy all on its own. Again, I would recommend a top coat just to keep your manicure lasting as long as possible, but if you have to get out the door, it's not entirely necessary. So there is 2 coats. So I did have 2 standouts in the collection, the first one being In the Groove. This one's not really a spring polish to me. It's definitely more of a like fall kind of shade in my opinion, but I will wear these colors year round. This one is kind of like a brown with a hint of brick red, so it is very original in my collection, which is why it made the favorites for me. And then the other one being Sweet Thing, this one is more of a spring shade for me. This one is an extremely complimentary kind of nudie pink on me, so I really, really like this. This is going to be a beautiful spring and summer shade on me. So Sweet Thing and In the Groove are my favorites of the collection. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up. Let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.